Surviving the moments no one sees. There are seasons in life when the weight on your chest feels heavier than your own body. You wake up every morning already tired, confused about where to begin, and unsure of who you are becoming. The world moves around you, bright, loud, demanding, but inside, everything feels dim. You look in the mirror and see someone you barely recognize, someone who used to be stronger, someone who used to have direction, someone who once tasted abundance and is suddenly starting from scratch, as if life tore down everything you built and handed you a blank page you didn't ask for. Sometimes the silence becomes so loud you can feel it echoing in your bones. And in those lonely moments, a whisper crosses your mind, a thought you never wanted but somehow understand. Maybe it would be easier to disappear, not because you truly want to die, but because you're exhausted from trying to live. You tell yourself it's just a phase, but the heaviness doesn't lift. Nights turn into battles you didn't sign up for. You lie awake staring at the ceiling, your mind racing with fears, memories, regrets, and the weight of everything you're carrying alone. The clock hits 2 a.m., then 3, then 4. Sleep slips away as if it's running from you. And on the nights when the darkness feels too loud, the tears come without permission. Eventually, you reach for sleep pills, not because you want escape, but because you want rest, even just for a few hours. You just want to breathe without feeling like the world is collapsing around you. But even the medication fails you. It gives you moments of sleep, not hours, a taste of rest, not relief. You wake up still tired, still overwhelmed, still unsure of how to navigate a life that feels like it flipped upside down while no one was watching. And the hardest part? No one really knows what you're going through. People see the surface, the smile you force, the "I'm fine" you rehearse, the quiet nod when they ask if you're okay. They don't see the inner storm. They don't hear the cries muffled into your pillow. They don't feel the pressure of the bills piling up, the responsibilities you still have to meet, the fear gnawing inside your chest. They don't know how hard it is to get out of bed, to answer messages, to pretend you're strong when you're breaking. You want someone to notice, someone to ask the right question, someone to care enough to stay. But the truth is, many won't understand. Some don't know how, and others are too consumed by their own battles to see yours. And so you stand alone in this silent darkness, clinging to the only thing you have left, God. Not religion, not rituals, but a desperate, trembling, fragile hope that somehow He sees you, that somehow He hears you, that somehow He will show up. Every night you whisper the same prayer, "Please, God, I can't carry this alone." Some nights you pray with strength. Some nights you pray with tears. Some nights you pray with nothing but the last pieces of your hope. And yet, even in the heaviness, there is something quietly beautiful about this season. Not the pain itself, but the way pain strips away everything until all you have is the core of who you are. You learn what truly matters. You learn what truly remains when everything else falls apart. This dark season feels like punishment, but in reality, it is a passage, a painful passage, a lonely passage, a confusing passage, but a passage nonetheless. Because even when everything feels like the end, it isn't. Right now, you might feel like the ground under you has collapsed. You might feel like life has pushed you so far back that starting again seems impossible. But what if this isn't a setback of destruction? What if it's a reset of direction? What if what you lost cleared space for what you're meant to gain? What if the darkness you're in is not a burial, but a planting? Seeds are buried before they grow. caterpillars dissolve before they transform. Stars are born in darkness, and human beings, people like you, are reshaped by the very storms that were meant to break them. You may not see it yet, but this dark chapter is preparing you. Every tear you cry waters the ground of your next season. Every lonely night strengthens you in ways comfort never could. Every unanswered question is slowly shaping the clarity you will one day walk in. Every prayer you whisper is building a bridge between where you are and where you're going. And though it feels like no one understands you, someone does. God does. And He hasn't abandoned you, not for a second. Sometimes God shows up loudly, but more often He shows up quietly. Sometimes He moves mountains, and sometimes He strengthens your legs so you can climb them. Sometimes He parts the sea, and sometimes He gives you the courage to walk right through it. Sometimes He sends people, and sometimes He becomes the only companion you need in the midnight hours. Help is coming, not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Breakthrough doesn't always arrive as suddenly as we want, but it arrives exactly on time. And your story is far from over. Yes, the bills are real. Yes, the responsibilities are real. Yes, the loneliness is real. Yes, the exhaustion is real. But so is your strength. So is your endurance. So is your resilience. So is your calling. And so is the God who sees you. This season will not destroy you. It will strengthen you. It will shape you. It will prepare you for a life so different from the one you lost that one day you'll look back and barely recognize the person you were in this darkness. You're not failing. You're transitioning. You're not ending. You're transforming. You're not forgotten. You're deeply, fiercely, intimately held by a God who knows exactly how to carry you through this storm. Hold on, not because it's easy, but because your story is still being written. Because morning always comes, even after the longest, coldest night. Because your breakthrough might take time, but it is already on its way. And because the same God who kept you breathing through this darkness will be the one who leads you out of it. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not defeated. You are simply in the middle of a chapter that feels heavy, but it is not the final chapter. Keep holding on. Your sunrise is closer than you think.